Hi everyone, this is Stella from the Customer Experience Department. Some of you may know me as I am account manager for many of our enterprise accounts mainly. So in today's video, I will be showing you a video of the stats page, and I'm going to be showing you some analytics that you're going to be able to see, including optimization, overview, and filters. So this video will usually be like an onboarding that I do for many of you. When we do a call together, we usually go through the overview, the stats page, and the different metrics of how search performs in your store. So I'm going to start by explaining how Doofinder works really. If we go to results preview, we're going to be able to see the back end of your website. So everything that you search for here is what you'll be able to search for in your website, even the order of the products. But you're also going to be able to see the number of the results that come up, the query type, the relevance criteria. So for example, if I search for Adidas, we're going to be able to see that there are 13 results. And you're also going to be able to see what rules, if there are any boosting rules, custom results, banners are created for these search terms. So it's really important when you go to Doofinder to check the results preview, and because you can also see even the feed that you have for each product. Also the relevance, the boosting, and the total score for each of the results and the products. So here, if we click on the plus, we're going to be able to see like the feed of this product. How does Doofinder work? So Doofinder works with the scoring system to rank the search results based on their relevance to the search query performed. So the search query would be, in this case, a match and. The closer the result of the search query, the higher the scoring value. Therefore, the results in search are always sorted by the score with the most relevant results, the highest score appearing first, and in descending order from highest to lowest. Okay, so now let's go over to analytics and let's click on overview, and we're going to be able to see the stats. Okay, so this is a demo site, so we won't be able to see specific analytics from a certain store. So this is more general and made up, so to say. We won't be able to see exact analytics, but just so you get an idea of what you'll be able to see in your admin page. So I always start off by explaining these metrics. So just first off, you can always filter by device type and also by period. So main period would be by default, this is selected, but you can change this. Main period would be these last 2 weeks. So from end of May to this week, in comparison to the previous period, which would be the 2 weeks before that. So beginning of May to end of May. But as I said, you can always change this. And the first metric that we have here would be the number of searches. So this would be how many searches have been made in percentage in this time period that you have selected. If you hover on each of the statistics, you're going to be able to see kind of like a comparison with the current search sessions, previous traffic session period, the previous traffic sessions. You're also going to be able to see how many shoppers are using the search bar, which in this case is 10.5%, and the average of the previous 6 months. When it says 6-month average, this means that we compare it to like an average of the previous 6 months. The second metric here would be the CTR rate, so the click-through rate. You're also going to be able to see if it has increased or decreased in comparison to the previous period. Here, you're going to be able to see the revenue that Doofinder has created. So what does this mean? This doesn't mean the total revenue that has been created in the past, in the period that you have selected. It means the revenue that has been created due to a customer buying a product using a Doofinder product. So for example, the search bar, quiz maker, AI assistant, or recommendations. And here you're going to be able to see the conversion rate of this account, of this store. If we go below, we're going to be able to see the graph, and we're going to be able to see the exact same information just in a graph format. Other things to consider. So what your shoppers do when they search. So this number here would mean the likelihood of people using of people buying using search versus people buying not using search. So it's kind of like a ratio. Also, if we hover here, we're going to be able to see the previous period and the 6-month average. This number here would mean the percentage of shoppers using the search bar. So at 10.5%, even if it seems quite low, is a pretty good number. Here, you're going to be able to see the average position of clicked results. So this means how far users need to scroll before finding a relevant product that they click on. So in this case, the average position would be, on average, the number 2. So they usually click on the number 2 product. If you hover, you're going to be able to see also a comparison to the average click position of companies in the same industry, so your competitors. This metric here would be the percentage of users leaving the page without clicking or interacting. So this would be the bounce rate. And this number here would be the percentage of searches with no results. So this would mean how many searches are being made that obtain no results. So we don't want this. How can you see which searches are these? So if you scroll down, you're going to be able to see these here, and I will explain these in a second. Here, this is a very important thing to look at. We always recommend you go into this page and check the results every 2 weeks, which is when they refresh and they change. And these are kind of a list of your most searched terms. So this is what your customers search for the most. So this would be the search term. This would be the number of times this search term has been searched for. This would be the CTR rate of this search term. So how many times a customer has clicked on this search term. And the click position would be where it's positioned, where so how far users need to scroll when they search for Nike to find a relevant product or a product that they click on. If we go into details, you're going to be able, well, usually in your site, you're going to be able to see which products are most selected, most clicked after searching for Nike in this case. The same if we clicked on shirt, we're going to be able to see the products that are most clicked on these search terms. We'd also be able to see how many times each of these products have been clicked, the CTR rate for these products, and also you're going to be able to see exactly where these products were positioned after searching for shirt, for example. You can also download all of this information in a CSV file. What we usually do in this case is recommend customers to look at the CTR rate of these search terms. Usually we recommend fixing those search terms that have a lower CTR rate than your average store CTR rate. So in this case, it would be a 30%. So any search terms that are below 30%, we'd recommend you to look at and fix using a custom result, for example. Why? Because this means that people are searching a lot for Nike, but say that Nike has a lower CTR rate than 30. It means that they're searching a lot for this search term, but they're not finding relevant results. So what can we do? We can fix this. And we recommend always searching for Nike and seeing what results come up in results preview, which is the backend, what I explained before, what results come up when we search for Nike. So if we see that the results aren't really that relevant, that we could add more, or there are things that you want to include in this search term that you're not seeing, to improve this search term, we'd always create a custom result. So how do we create a custom result? We'd go to add custom result. We would write the internal name of the custom result. So in this case, it would be Nike. We select the duration of this custom result. So do we want it to be ongoing? That would be the first option. Or do we want to set a date period for this custom result? You'd select the start date and then the end date. Then you would select the results that you want to display. So you have two options. You can select the option of only displaying the selected results that you're going to select now, or you can display the selected results that you're going to choose now, and then the natural results that come up with the natural search. Then you would have to write the search term. So in this case, it would be Nike. Or Nike. Say some people still search for Nike, or you want to add more search terms, you can add as many as you like. Select the type of match. So if it's exact match, this means that people will have to write this exact search term for this custom result to come up. If it's a broad match, then it would mean that customers don't have to write exactly Nike or Nike. If they search for Nikes or Nick, this custom result will also appear. And here you'll be able to add the results that you want to add. So you can do this in two ways. By adding individual items. So say you want to just add these and you select them. Or you can add results using rule. So in this case, you want to include the brand Nike in this custom result. So you would select brand and you would search for Nike. And you would add the rule. And now we can see that we have a custom result created for Nike, matches 15 products, and these are the products that are included. Let's continue with the stats page. So below we have the 0 result searches. What does this mean? As I mentioned before, this means that people are searching for these products and these search terms and nothing is coming back. We are not getting any results. So we have to fix this because we want to turn results, we want to turn searches into and no sales into a possibility of a sale. So people are searching, in this case, let's select one in English. Okay, let's say that people are searching for sudadera. Sudadera means sweater or jumper in English. So obviously nothing is coming back. So what do? We can also create a custom result for this search term. So we can include products for sudadera. Okay, so we would, let's call it sudadera. And here you would include the results that you do know that you want to include in this custom result, because you may have jumpers, but they're just not appearing as a result. So in this case, you would include the jumpers, the sweaters that you'd want to include in this custom result. Another way of fixing no results is using synonyms. So we know that sometimes customers are searching for something and they're not getting anything in return because it could be they're not writing it correctly, so they're mistyping, they're having a typo, or because there is more than one way to say what we want to say. There is more than one word to say. So for example, if you are searching for fridge, you could also search for cooler. It means the same thing, but you may not have both ways of saying it in your feed. So people are searching for cooler, but in your feed you have it as fridge and it's not getting back any results, but you do know that you are selling these products. So how do you create synonyms? You go to synonyms, and in this case, in the case of fridge cooler, it's pretty simple. What you do is you're going to tell Doofinder that fridge and cooler mean exactly the same thing. So when people search for fridge, cooler will come up in return. And when people search for cooler, fridge will come up in return in results preview in your website. So we create this synonym and that's created. It's pretty simple, and your customers that search for something and nothing comes up, now results will come up. Another thing that people may search for are particular brands, which you don't sell, but you do sell similar products. What you could do in this case is add a custom result as well. So imagine people are searching for Adidas, but you don't sell Adidas products. You only sell Nike products. So in this case, you would create a custom result for people that search for Adidas, and display products that are Nike products, because you know that they're similar products. And this is a way of converting a no sale, no result into a possibility of a sale. There is also another way of doing this. So imagine in this case, as I mentioned, that you don't sell Adidas products, but you do sell Nike products that are similar to Adidas products. So in this case, you would add a banner. There are two ways of adding banners. There is a visual configuration or a code configuration. In a code configuration, it's just text. So we can say, in the case of Adidas, I'm sorry, we do not sell Adidas Adidas products, but please have a look at our similar products, for example. So this is a way of telling the customer that you don't sell these products that they're looking for, that they're searching for, but you do have other similar products. So in this case, you would add the search term for Adidas. You would select the date period as well, as we did with the custom results. You would add the search term. You would add the text that you want to include, and you would save. But then we would need to include the products that you want to display. So how do we do this? We would go to custom results, and we would create a banner, a custom result with exactly the same search term. So if people are searching for Adidas, you want this banner and this custom result to be linked. So we would display the banner saying, sorry, we don't sell this. We don't sell Adidas, but we do sell similar products. And we would include the results that we do want to include. And we would do it, as I mentioned before, as I showed you on how to configure a custom result. There is also another way to configure a banner. So a banner can also be a visual banner. And it's pretty simple. It's just an image that will be displayed after putting, so imagine people are searching for Adidas or Nike, and you want to add a Nike banner, like a huge Nike banner that promotes Nike products. So in this case, it would be a visual banner, and you would upload the image, the desktop image and the mobile image. It would be displayed at the top of the search bar, and you would add the link of the URL of the Nike category page. So when people click the banner, they will be redirected to the Nike category page. Okay. Other promotional tools that you can use, redirections. Redirections is a way of redirecting the customer to a part of your website. So for example, say that people are searching in the search bar for contact or shipping or something unrelated to product, we would recommend you to add redirection. So in this case, it would be, say people are searching for, how can we contact you in the search bar? So we would put the on status, create, and either it can be an automatic redirection, which means that the customers, when they search for contact, they won't even have to click enter. They will automatically be redirected to the contact page, or they will have to click enter to be redirected. Okay, so it's automatic redirection or not automatic redirection. You would add the search term for contact or contact page or whatever you want to add. And then here you would put the URL of the contact page. So customers are redirected to the contact page. Something else that is very useful is boosting rules. So what does boosting do? Boosting places products above others. It gives more relevance to certain products than others. You can use your marketing strategies to use a boosting rule. So for example, say you have a lot of products in stock that you want to get rid of, then you would create a boosting rule for these products. So these are placed above others and people can search for them more quickly. Say you have discounts or a Black Friday and you want to add a boosting rule to these products so you get rid of them more quickly or you sell them more quickly. So you would add a boosting rule to these products that are on discount. Or say that you want to promote your new collection. Then you would add a boosting rule to new collection. So there are 3 ways of doing boosting rules. So you can either add a rule, you can either manually boost, or you can enable the automatic boosting. I'm going to start by the most simple. Automatic boosting is by default turned on. And this is a multiplier that is on for automatic boosting. This means that the system, the algorithm, Doofinder learns from past users' search navigation and will place certain more popular products with a higher boosting. Okay, so products that are most popular, that are most clicked, will already have this automatic boosting applied. So we recommend this to be turned on. Manual boosting is pretty simple. You just search for products that you want to boost. and you select the multiplier that you want to boost. Important. We usually recommend the boost to be between 1 and 2. If it's above 2, it will kind of mess up the search, and we don't want that. If it's below 1, the boost will be that you will give a lower relevance to these products. So an ideal number would be 1.5. So say that I want to give a boosting to these Adidas original flip-flops, these sandals. So I'm going to give them a boost of 1.5. So I want these sandals to be at the top when people search for Adidas. Boosting rule is pretty easy to configure as well. So you would add the boosting name. So let's say you want to add a boosting rule to products that are on discount, that are on the Black Friday sale. So you would also select the boosting value, the multiplier. In this case, I'm going to say 2.0. And we usually recommend, I mean, you can either do it two ways. You can add a search term for when you want to activate this boosting rule, or you cannot add a search term, and this boosting rule will always be active for whatever search the customer does. Then you select the condition. In this case, the condition would be products that are on discount. So in this case, I would select calculated discount, the attribute calculated discount, or sale price, and you would select the sale price, probably best calculated discount for a Black Friday boosting rule. So let's say that all Black Friday discounts have a discount between 20 and 25%. So this would be the range of the discount. And save, and now we have this boosting applied. So this means now that all products in my catalog that are on the Black Friday sale will have more relevance than others. Other important things to look at in the admin are advanced preferences, only available for advanced customers and enterprise customers. And here we have search personalization, which you can enable. We have search fields. So these search fields are what you have in your feed, and the weight that we give these, like the importance that we give these when searching for products. And we also have the relevance criteria, which impacts the score, which is what I was explaining at the beginning. If we go to analytics again, we're going to have the filters part of the admin, which basically tells you what customers click on most, what filters customers click on most. So which brands and categories, etc., customers click on the most. So now we're going to go ahead to optimization, which is a new part of the stats page. Because we don't have a lot of information in this demo site, we're going to go over to an example of a customer. You're going to be able to see some bits of information, but other bits are whited out due to data protection. But just so you get an idea of how this optimization page works. So the optimizational panel works as an automatic identification of top opportunities for how to optimize and how to improve your account based on the stats. And there are three important areas. So see here that we have visibility, okay? The visibility would be the click position of a specific search term varying a lot from the average click position of the store. So you can have a search term with a click position of 24, but you can have an overall average of the store of 4. So that would mean that there's a big range of difference. So this would be an opportunity to explore and to fix. The next thing that you'll be able to see is relevance. So what does relevance mean? It means that when the CTR rate of a specific search term varies a lot from the average CTR rate of the store. So for example, having a low CTR rate of a specific search term would be something to fix, as we saw with most search terms. So this would be kind of like an automatic way of the system telling you that here is a search term with a very low CTR rate in comparison to your average. This is what you need to fix using a custom result, a synonym, boosting, what we saw before. And the next thing to see would be no results. So no results would mean if a specific search term has many searches and there are no results. And how do we fix this? As we saw before, with a custom result or with a synonym. In any case, the objective is to make it easier, more accessible, and more visual for the client to make improvements based on real stats. On the left-hand side here, you'll be able to see the overall score and certain objectives that are established for your account. So it's important to make as many fixes as possible. Here you'll be able to see the score evolution. Score evolution shows how the search performance has evolved over time. In Fix This Month, at the bottom, we can see how many searches have improved and are no longer considered opportunities. So searches that previously returned no results now show products. Searches with low CTR rate that have improved and are closer to the store's average CTR rate. And searches with low ACP have also improved and are now closer to the global average. We can see here that there are 5 open opportunities, which means searches that still need your attention and optimization. In top opportunities, you'll be able to see the search term and the related searches analyzed over the last 15 days, whether there are already rules applied, such as custom results, boosting, synonyms, key metrics like CTR, ACP, and estimated revenue potential, which would be PRR, and the top clicked products for that specific search term. How can you take action? You can take action by viewing the current search results in the results preview, creating or editing rules to improve the search experience. If an opportunity has already been addressed, you can mark it as resolved here in these 3 dots, mark as resolved. It will disappear and only come back if it continues to perform poorly after 15 days. If you don't want to work on it, you can dismiss this opportunity, and it will be hidden for a period of time before appearing again. Doofinder also automatically fixes some low volume issues, such as misspelled searches and searches that previously returned no results. So here in the auto corrections. So what are some best practices after viewing all these optimizations and these statistics? What are some best practices for the stats page? So you can fill catalog gaps by adding missing products or relevant search terms. You can use boosting rules and synonyms instead of relying only on custom results. You can improve synonym coverage, especially for brands. This is important. And you can optimize the user experience with better filters and easier product discovery. So hopefully this video has been useful for you and this has helped, but you can always have a deeper onboarding session with one of your account managers. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.